Please continue your dinner as we begin the formal part of our program. If I could, please ask the board members to come forward at this time. You'll come up to the front. This year, we have a total of 57 employees retiring from our school system. Collectively, they have, are you ready for this? 1,112 years of service. Incredibly, there are 11 employees who have 30 or more years of service and 18 more with 20 years of service. So we are so proud and grateful for the time that you have dedicated to the profession or to your work. Tonight, we will recognize our 30 retirees in attendance this evening by their school or department. As your principal or supervisor comes to the front with you, please come to my right by way of our board members so that they can congratulate you and shake each of your hands. Then, after you finish, you'll proceed over to the left until your principal or supervisor completes his or her remarks. Finally, at the end of the reception, you may pick up your engraved retirement gift at the table in the back of the room. In your program, you'll notice our first retiree is from East Newton Elementary School. Unfortunately, I just received word right before we came in this evening that due to a family matter, our East Newton retiree is not able to attend this program, and I did not want you to think that we just overlooked East Newton. So tonight, we'll begin our recognition ceremony with Dr. Brunson, principal of Fairview Elementary School, to be followed by the other administrators in the order listed in your program. So Dr. Brunson, if you'll come forward, and the process, shake hands, and then when you finish shaking hands, move towards the left.
Well, good evening, everyone. I have a few words to share with you all about Miss Denise Christian, who is retiring at the end of this year with 12 years of service as bookkeeper for Fairview and for Fickwit. She began with Principal Beverly Copeland, a very classy lady. Then Miriam Wilkins became principal, another very classy lady. Next, she had 6 great years with Dr. Naomi Cobb, a really classy lady. Then she got stuck with me. So 6 years ago, Miss Christian and I opened Fairview, and ever since day one, you see, she doesn't know this, but we've actually given her the wrong job title over these years. You see, we call her our bookkeeper, but really she is our maker. In some ways, it's very obvious. She makes bank deposits, she makes checks to our vendors. In other ways, it's a little more complicated. She makes countless phone calls at 6:30 in the morning begging for subs, which is usually pretty hard. But the hardest part is that she makes me slow down when I want to spend all of our money. And there's another part of her work that isn't in her job description, but she does it perfectly every day. Miss Christian makes time for people. She'll stop what she's doing and listen and do her best to give good advice. Miss Christian makes the school climate positive. When I'm getting riled up for something, she'll just make a joke with me and we'll just laugh it off. And that's just the kind of great coworker and friend she is. And I have to tell you one more thing she makes. Every day, Miss Christian makes a testament of her faith. She's a Christian and she loves the Lord. Her faith is evident in everything she does. Patience, kindness, and wisdom are the gifts that she's blessed with, and these are things that she cannot make on her own. So, Miss Christian, I'm going to miss you terribly next year. And please keep your cell phone turned on, because you know I'm going to be calling you, because I just don't know how I'm going to do it without you. I want to thank you for making my first year wonderful, and congratulations on your retirement. May God bless you and your family with a happy, healthy future and many more years to come. Thank you.
Good evening. Today, Flint Hill has 2 teachers to recognize for their years of service. Ms. Janice Alexander has 34 years here in Newton County. She served for 16 years as a paraprofessional at Palmer-Stone, and then received her teaching degree and became a teacher at Palmer-Stone. When Palmer-Stone closed, she went to Flint Hill. So she has been in Oxford for 34 years in Newton County school system. She has served as our relay captain for 14 years, and we're trying to get her to come back again next year, just to keep going with it. Frequently, Miss Alexander will be coming by to visit and work on projects in the school. She's already promised to come and do luncheons with us. So we want to thank you for all of your years, Janice. Ann Traylor began teaching in Newton County at Livingston Elementary School. She taught there for 10 years with perfect attendance. 10 years of perfect attendance. We're amazed by that. I think that's fabulous. She taught briefly in another county and then returned to Newton County, where she worked at Fickwit, and then moved to Flint Hill when Flint Hill opened. So I've had a great experience with both of these ladies, and we wish them luck in all of their years ahead.
Hello, I'm Marquita Wilkins, the principal at Mixon, and it's my sincere honor and greatest pleasure to present to you two superstar teachers, Ms. Melanie Sheets and Ms. Robin Simmons. Both ladies are outstanding teachers and extremely, truly beautiful people. Ms. Sheets has taught for a total of 34 years. She's been honored for 25 years as dedicated to Newton County schools, but prior to that, she taught 9 years in music in the private sector. Ms. Sheets, during her 25-year tenure, she's taught 15 years at Fickwit and 10 years at Mixon. She's taught kindergarten, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and 5th grades in that order. And because she was so smart and she spent 12 years in kindergarten, she got to skip 1st grade. Ms. Sheets was Mixon's 2010 Teacher of the Year. She went on to become the Teacher of the Year for Newton County Schools, and she was in the top 10 as Teacher of the Year for the state of Georgia. Ms. Sheets, her intelligence, her wisdom, and her insight places her among the very best teachers. She's taught me to enjoy the finer things in life. 2 of the things are fresh eggs, she brings them regularly, and Starbucks Italian roast coffee. And we also have Robin Simmons, who's retiring after dedicating 29 years of service to Newton County Schools. Mixon is blessed to have had her all 29 of those years. Within those 29 years, she taught kindergarten for 24, and 2nd grade for 5 years. Because of Ms. Simmons and because of her gentleness and her beautiful spirit, we've had almost 300 kindergarten students to have a wonderful experience to school. So thank you, Ms. Simmons. Ms. Simmons is just one of those people who's really sweet. Her life speaks for her. And because I've had the opportunity to watch her for 13 years, I'm inspired to be a better person. So ladies, thank you for walking into your call to teach and for serving the boys and girls of Newton County with passion and faithfulness. While your position will be filled by other teachers, no one will ever or can ever replace you. You will forever be our Mixon superstars. So enjoy your retirement. Ms. Simmons, cook for your husband. Ms. Sheets, go to New Orleans to visit your son. Just enjoy your time together, and thank you for all you've done. Congratulations. I'll miss you.
Good evening. It's with great honor that I celebrate this lovely lady, Miss Sharon Vaughn, who has over 30 years of service to boys and girls. Ms. Vaughn is a great example of a flexible staff member and a staff member who has a heart for children. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge her wonderful husband, Mr. Dave, over there, who's just as much a part of our Live Oak family as Ms. Vaughn. Ms. Vaughn is tirelessly working with our special needs population, and no one has a bigger heart for our students than Ms. Vaughn. So we want to congratulate Ms. Vaughn on her upcoming retirement. She's going to enjoy being Nima to all of her grandbabies, and she has promised to always help us with Special Olympics, and we're drafting Mr. Dave to continue to help us as well. So Ms. Vaughn, thank you so much, and you will always be a Live Oak Lion. We love you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Haymore. I'm here to honor Miss Cynthia Hensley from Mansfield Elementary School. Miss Hensley has 25 years of service in education. The last 10 years have been spent at Mansfield. I've been at Mansfield for 5 years, and in that time she's taught kindergarten and she's now teaching second grade. The people before me have kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, because if you know Miss Hensley, you know that she too is a person that truly loves the students. She works tirelessly to build relationships, positive relationships with the students, and she has a faith that is strong. I always know it's Sunday evening when I get a little text or a little email that pops up with the Mansfield prayer concerns each week that Miss Hensley compiles those and sends those out to the staff. Two things I want to say about Miss Hensley. Number one, she can outrun me. And the first year at Mansfield, we had a boot camp, and I participated in that one time because I couldn't stand for Miss Hensley to do more push-ups than I could. But another thing is Miss Hensley, people have used the word tonight, sweet. Miss Hensley, her demeanor is one of the best that I have ever seen. She can make anything that goes on just sound wonderful. Mr. Haymore, I'm sorry, but Johnny was acting up and I just needed to backhand him. Well, it's okay, Miss Hensley. Wow. It just makes everything sound wonderful. And we're truly going to miss her positive demeanor, her thoughtfulness for the students, for the staff, and her love for our young people. Miss Hensley, congratulations, and I hope you have a wonderful retirement.
Thank you. I am Rhonda Battle, principal at Middle Ridge Elementary, and I have the privilege of presenting Dr. Gloria Hancock to you all tonight. She is retiring after 32 years of service to our students. Well, students not just in Newton County, actually. So in Newton County, she has been with us for 19 years. And all of those years were at Middle Ridge Elementary. And so Dr. Hancock and I have been together for 11 years, and we have grown extremely close. And I am going to miss Dr. Hancock, and so will the other teachers and students. Dr. Hancock is a true go-getter. Whatever you need, Dr. Hancock can make it happen. If there are any issues with technology, Dr. Hancock, you want Dr. Hancock. I will never forget, and I'm going to say it, Dr. Hancock. I have no idea what made her do this, but she did. We were having mid-year conferences one year, and Dr. Hancock brought her own computer from home, like a computer, a real, like a huge computer. She set it up, and she had her jump drive, and she did her presentation, and it was phenomenal. She is a numbers type of lady, and she had all of her data ready, and she can pull and create any spreadsheet report, and we use that data to drive our instruction, and Dr. Hancock is extremely instrumental in that. And we are definitely going to miss her. The children in after school will miss Dr. Hancock. She has started a gardening club with our children, and they love to go out and garden, and some of them have never experienced that. And Dr. Hancock is instrumental in bringing that to our school. She also worked with our after-school children, and she led the science, actually, and the children were able to have science experiments after school, and they would love to get to Dr. Hancock. And so, Dr. Hancock, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for your gentle spirit. You're always so pleasant, Dr. Hancock, and whatever it is that can make Middle Ridge better, you are there for it. And I genuinely appreciate that. And so with the utmost sincerity, respect, and love, I congratulate you, Dr. Hancock. You have earned it, and you rock, and enjoy it. Good evening.
this is a picture that Ms. Undercheck's husband brought today, and this is a picture of Mr. and Mrs. Powell. And it was very important to have them here to share in this momentous occasion. So since they brought it to the table, I said I'll bring it up here with me because we're going to recognize their daughter today. And their daughter is Miss Deborah Undercheck, who brings a smile to school each day despite how she may feel, who finds innovative ways to captivate the attention of her students when teaching a lesson. That's Miss Deborah Undercheck. She's married to Mr. Undercheck, who will be retiring as well this year. She has one son, Jonathan Undercheck, and she has a bachelor's degree in education from UGA, a master's in education in reading, and we laugh about it because for some reason she's not taught reading. She teaches math and science. She has 32 years of service to Porterdale Elementary School in Newton County. She had 2 years in Putnam County and 2 years at Georgia State. Her retirement plans are to garden, travel, visit friends and family, and volunteer, of course, at Porterdale. Thank you, Ms. Undercheck, for 32 amazing years at Porterdale Elementary School. We thank you for engaging, exposing, educating, and encouraging students at Porterdale. Your teaching will be forever treasured, and your contribution to the lives of students can never be measured. We wish you a happy retirement, Ms. Undercheck. We love you and appreciate your service to the students at Porterdale Elementary School.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to introduce myself. I'm Aaron Robinson. I'm an assistant principal at Cousins Middle School. It's been my great fortune to have gotten to work with these genuine spirits next to me for the last 2 years, and my honor to discuss a little bit about their lengthy careers that deserve a lot more than just a few minutes from me, but let me try my best. To my far left is Mrs. Marilyn Harris, who will be retiring this year. Actually, she's gotten ahead of us a little bit. Some of you got a couple of weeks. She went ahead and got a head start back in December. After 31 years working in the school systems, both in DeKalb County and Newton County, she's already enjoying that time with her husband, as they've just married off their youngest daughter, I understand, back in April, and now they've freed up some times on cruises and whatnot. She's been of just such great service to Cousins Middle School in my time, helping everyone from the students to the teachers in her role as one of our technology gurus, updating us on a regular basis on the website and through other social media features. And just can't say enough about the service that she's provided to our students and the teachers there. And we're going to miss Miss Marilyn Harris greatly from Cousins Middle School, and we already feeling that loss the last semester. Nearest to me is Miss Leela Elkins. She's retiring after 34 years of service in Newton County. I want to bet that she knows about 95% of this room at one point or another. You've come across our great and one of Newton County and one of the state's finest chorus teachers that you're ever going to meet. I want to take the opportunity to read a letter I received from a student of hers, a former student, became aware of her upcoming retirement and contacted us to see if we wouldn't share these words, and I thought this was a perfect time. It would express a lot of what you know about her and what a lot of her former students know about her. This comes from a student you had at Cousins Middle School in 1992. It reads, "Dear Mrs. Elkins," she says, "I learned that your retirement from teaching is drawing near, and I wanted to send you a note to let you know of the long-lasting impact you made in my life from 1992. Despite my horrific singing voice, I somehow found myself in your chorus in 8th grade. In your kind-hearted way, you generously offered me the role of conductor. You said it was because of my wonderful smile, but I think it may have been a way to keep my awful voice away from innocent audience members. Among the many beautiful songs that you taught us, a few have stayed with me and resurfaced in my life in various ways. The Sanctus, You miraculously managed to teach a group of 8th graders from Georgia to correctly pronounce this song in Latin. I know because my Italian father-in-law was impressed that I could speak the lyrics. No, I did not sing for him in Latin. There was the Native American chant that you taught us, ends in ho-ki-li-ho. And that has turned out to be one of my son's favorite nighttime songs. And yes, I will sing to him. And finally, the 50 Nifty United States has been my check. When filing multi-state tax returns, I'm now managing the tax department for a California-based consulting firm to make sure I don't miss a state or get them out of order. I still shout out Georgia when I get to it. While your music and songs were influential, it was your grace, kindness, and joy that left the greatest impact on me. 25 years later, I can still see your smile in my mind's eye, and your happiness carries on. Congratulations on your retirement, and may the ripples of your efforts return to you in abundance. Your student, Ann Gandini, formerly Ann Robinson, my little sister. So congratulations to you both. Cousins is going to miss you in a well-deserved honor. Thank you.
I'm Renee Mallard, and I am the principal at Indian Creek Middle School, and it is my honor to recognize these two people up here. The first one is Mr. Charles Phillips, who, unfortunately for me, but fortunately for him, came and saw me this summer and asked if he could talk with me, and he let me know that he had decided to retire. So he has had a whole year at home living the life with do-it-yourself projects and enjoying spending time in his community, and that is something that we appreciate here in Newton County. He has been in Clayton County for 9 years, in Coweta County for 9 years, in Fayette County for 9 years, and then with me at Indian Creek for 2 years, serving Newton County. He's friendly, he's kind, he's a little competitive. We had a conversation about the academic bowl at the table. And he loves his content. He's passionate about history, he's passionate about social studies, he was passionate about language arts, and he shared his resources with his colleagues. He's remembered and missed this year, so a number of people asked me to tell him hello, and they miss his true heart and his gentle soul. He is definitely a gentleman, and he was missed this year, and I am glad that I am able to be the one that congratulates him on his retirement. So congratulations, Mr. Phillips. Next up, Mary Roach. Some of you may know her as Coach Roach. Miss Roach has 30 years of service. She has... Are you kidding me? She has... we went through the list. There's DeKalb County, there's Eastside High School, there's Oconee County, there's Veterans, and there's Newton, years of teaching. And then she was the assistant principal at Veterans Memorial Middle School. And then I was gifted with her. I was so excited that she became part of my team 3 years ago at Indian Creek. If you know me, you know that I am very type A, and Miss Roach helps me be type A minus. So she is a joy to be around. Because you have a language arts person congratulating you on your retirement, I wrote you a poem. Oh boy. An acrostic poem for Mary Elaine Roach. M is for magnanimous and magnificent. A is for admired by many. R, reliable and dependable. Y, you always see her smiling. E, everyone's friend. L, lover of horses and goofy. A team player, hands down. I, inspires others to enjoy life. N, never a dull moment around her. And E, exceptional. R is for respected as a professional. O, oceans and diving are for her. A, athletically inclined. C, coached and inspired so very many. And H, humble servant with a helping hand. And it's my honor to congratulate you on your retirement. Thank you for your service.
Good evening. You will have the finest three people are standing to my left. No one loves and does more for our students than these three people right here. First is Miss Bouts. She's 27 years of service with the special needs classroom, and Miss Maddox next to her, a pair for 18 years in the same classroom. All three of them are very humble and didn't really want me to say anything, but I'm going to anyway. Miss Bouts, she was one of the first people that I got to know when I went to Alcoby, and she was so kind and sweet and supporting of me. But I always respected and admired her because one year she had remember in your wheelchair you had an accident or something, and then she kept coming back, I got to take care of my kids. And then last year toward the end she had some health scares, and all she thought about was her kids. And that impressed me, and she does so much. Miss Maddox, the same thing in the classroom. However, Miss Maddox really showed me what my limitations were. My first year we had a Christmas party, and at this party she got me to do the Soul Train to Casey and the Sunshine, Get Down Tonight, and she put me to shame. And I thought, if I can do that in my later years, I'm going to be a very happy person. But then the next day I got ribbed by my faculty and staff that I couldn't keep up with Miss Maddox and Get Down Tonight. And then there's Mr. Andrachek. And when I first went to Newton as assistant principal in the 08-09 year, he was there, and he was so kind to me and so supporting. It was my first year working in high school, and he was just always there for me, and just a calm voice, again, very supportive. And it's just very hard to find people like that. They're supportive and loyal and dependable, and yet they're humble. Our students and our faculty and their peers and even their administrative teams are better because of them, but I'm better too because of them. And thank you so much for all that you've done.
My name is Phil Davison. I'm one of the assistant principals at Eastside High School. Unfortunately, our principal, Jeff Chair, couldn't be here this evening. Our retiree is Kathy Sanders. She's retiring with 22 years in Newton County. But I found out tonight that she actually started teaching in 1979, making this her 38th year. So Mrs. Sanders is our speech teacher, and although we claim her and she's our person, she also works at other middle and elementary schools. And so she's taught children of all ages and all grades and given them the gift of communication and the ability to speak and, more importantly, to be understood. And we're going to miss her at Eastside. She is joined this evening by her daughter, who is following in her footsteps. She's an autism teacher in Henry County. And so I'm going to miss Miss Sanders because every day she passed me in the hall, she always has a big smile and always a happy comment to make. Now that I know she's got 38 years in this thing, I kind of makes more sense. So, but thank you. We're going to miss you.
Good evening. I'm John Ellenberg, principal of Newton High School, and I've got 7 retirees this year. I've got 5 that have come. The other 2 had other engagements, but I will honor them as well. First off, we have Mr. Troy Davis with 25 years of service to Newton County Schools. Mr. Davis and I started teaching together about 16 years ago, and just behind this school is the Yellow River. And there's pretty much not a piece of flora and fauna at the river that his students and my students haven't either touched, collected, and captured, brought back to the classroom and experimented on. It kind of went south for a little while when we started collecting roadkill, but we had to stop that. I'm kidding. Well, somewhat. Mr. Davis started his service to the citizens of this county and country everywhere from he was an airborne paratrooper, and from the sands of Desert Storm to the classrooms here at Newton High School, Mr. Davis has been in public service and working with the youth to make sure that they are ready for any challenges that come their way. He has been a fantastic friend and mentor. He is a wonderful father. His beautiful wife, Julie, is here with him this evening, and they have a wonderful son together. And he's been just a great father. He's got 2 girls just completed college, and very proud of that. And Julie, we taught together too. We were classmates over there. We taught science together as well. So it's a great family that we have at Newton High School. And Troy is, we've gone through a lot together, and it's been a great time. Next person is Coach William Bill Dolan. Now, a lot of you might know him as the voice of the Rams because he's done all the announcing for the games for many years, and his voice is kind of iconic now. If he doesn't show up to a game, everybody wants to know where he's at. He's also another one of those paratroopers that can't figure out how to stop jumping out of a plane. He's got 101 jumps. He's what we call a super jumper. As a matter of fact, I think his beautiful wife Patty's here with him tonight. She still has to let him know on a domestic flight he doesn't have to actually exit out of the plane at 20,000 feet. He can actually land with it this time. He's been a coach. He's been a great friend. He's done a lot of testing together, and he has really worked with the students with 10 years of service and also in law enforcement. He's retired several times. And this one here is going to be his last one, and he's done a wonderful job helping the youth and making sure they had the education they need to be successful. Next, we have Miss Susan Lawson with 19 years of service. Miss Lawson has served as our discipline clerk, has worked at Eastside High School in Teston, and she is somebody that I rely on all the time and has been for years with testing. She's probably one of the few people that knows every single student at the high school, how many discipline referrals they have, and the number of tardies they have to that particular day. They might as well have a QR code on them because she can scan them and tell you exactly who they are, what the discipline referrals were, and what year they got them in. She is an absolute amazing person, and she's been wonderful and really a godsend. Next, we have Miss Teresa Shields with 29 years of service at Newton High School. She has, she's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. You take out the blade that you need and you got it. She's Title I coordinator, department chair for mathematics. It just goes on and on. When you ask her to do it, she could do it and do it very well. She's always been able to work with students, even when they went and left Newton High School and went to college. Just recently, a 2007 graduate just finished with his doctorate in nuclear physics at Georgia Tech. Well, he's understanding the fabric of the world. One time she was tutoring a student who'd come down and they were working on theoretical mathematics. And I said, that's great. That's the kind of mathematics that I practice too. Theoretical. So, but she's always given her time and her efforts to everyone. And she has really touched the lives of a lot of children and made sure that they were ready for the world out there. And then we have Mr. Gunnery Sergeant, retired United States Marine Corps, Sherman Smith, 21 years of service. In the military, we call somebody a lifer when they put over 20 years in. Well, Gunnery Sergeant Smith, you're what we call the super lifer. He's given another 21 years to the service of the children of Newton County. He's taught them what the dignity and honor of respect of a leadership course, and he's done it with pride for many years. He's traveled all over this country, and I can't even remember a time when he took enough time for a summer break because he was busy taking cadets to San Diego, California. He was going to Washington, D.C. Two people that aren't here is Mrs. Rita Hector. With almost 40 years of service as a counselor, she has literally touched the lives of thousands and thousands of the students at Newton High School. She has worked with them individually and made sure they had the skills they needed to be successful for their lives and make sure that she guided them to different colleges and careers that made them and our nation strong. The next is Mrs. Janet Goodman. Mrs. Goodman has been media specialist for Newton County Schools for as long as I've been at Newton High School. She's always made sure the students had the books and the resources they needed to stretch their lexile ranges so that they could have the learning skills they required. And not only that, she was a councilwoman for many years and an absolute trailblazer for civil rights. And I am very thankful that I had the opportunity to serve with such great individuals, such honor and dignity and respect that they have given to the students of Newton County. And people, every single one of you, thank you so much for your service. And I'm very happy to have had this time with you. And I even get to see one of my old teachers here from Greene County, Mr. Undercheck. Mr. Undercheck is his friend who's from Alcoby, and his dad is my teacher from almost 30 years ago. So everything kind of comes full circle. Well, you guys, thanks for all you've done for everyone.
Good evening. I'm Jan Lumens, Director of School Nutrition, and I have the privilege of standing in for Richard Brantley tonight to introduce to you Judy Skinner. She's been employed in the School Nutrition Department since 2004 for 13 years. She started out as a food service assistant and became a manager at Fickwood. She served at Sharp Learning Center, and she has spent the last 6 years working with the very special students at Mainstay Academy. She has done an absolutely fabulous job with those students. She's been kind and sweet and caring and understanding, and she was talking to me tonight about a student that she's concerned about. That program will certainly miss her. The school nutrition program will really miss her because she has stepped up and done everything that I have asked of her with a smile. She's been very thorough and detailed, and she has run great programs for us. And I'm wishing her well for her next life as a retired school nutrition manager. She deserves it, and I hope she has a wonderful time retired. Thank you, Judy.
Good evening. I'm Brooke Ramsey, and I'm the Director of Special Education. And I have the honor of presenting to you Miss Linda Berry. Most of you probably already know Linda, whether you worked with us in special education or not. She really does not need an introduction whatsoever. When I became a special education teacher back in 2003, I knew the director was Kathy Stubbs, but I just knew anything that I needed. If I needed a form, if I needed anything at all, any type of support as a first-year teacher, I knew who to call. I was always told to call Linda Berry. So if anything went in the mail, you sent it to Linda Berry. So had I not known the director, I would have thought that Linda Berry was the director for years. She has been in our department, in the special education department, as the administrative assistant for the last 23 years. We were talking tonight, we were adding up the directors. She's been through 7 special education directors. I'm not real sure what that says about my job security, but I hope I'm around a little longer than that, a longer track record. But she is an active member of her church. She's a pillar in this community, and she has been really the foundation of our department for many years, and we're really going to miss her. She has done so much for the students in our district and for our teachers and supporting them and our administrators, and so we're envious. We can't wait till we all get to that point to retire, but I know she's going to enjoy her summers with her granddaughters, and we're really going to miss you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Adam Fayal. I'm the Director of Technology and Media Services, and I get the privilege of talking about Mr. Mark Daneker here. I was going to do a poem, but someone already did that. I was going to do an interpretive dance, but they didn't have my music ready. So I'm just going to take you down memory lane. When Mr. Daneker started here in Newton County, I'm going to give you a few things and see if you can figure out when this was. Ric Flair defeated Dusty Rhodes to win his first world championship. The Raiders were good. Luke and Laura tied the knot on General Hospital. Jesse's Girl and Kiss on My List dominated the airwaves. At the box office, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Chariots of Fire, and Arthur were the top movies. And MTV launched. And I was 2 years old. We were sitting in our interviews a few days ago, and I was joking with one of the candidates as we were going around the table introducing each other. And I said, oh yeah, well, Mark, he's been in the district since Reagan. And we all laughed, and he was like, oh, actually, Adam, I was. So does anybody have a guess how long that's been? Anybody? Yeah. 1981. So he's been in the district for all of 81 years. He's had the privilege to serve.
Not quite that long.
81 years? No, okay. Yeah, 36 years, close enough. And his time in the district, he's had the opportunity to serve as a teacher, and I've had the privilege to work with him in the technology department. It was funny, in my time in the district, I moved to the district office from Alcoby back in 2011, and the running joke was Mark Daneker was going to retire. And as you can see, it's been the running joke for multiple years now. And I still don't know if this is true yet. I see the camera, so I'm waiting to say I'm being punked right now, and he's really coming back. But Mark is a tremendous person. We've truly enjoyed having him as a member of our Newton County family, and especially in our technology department. And I know when he leaves the district, everyone on our team is going to wait their 30 days, and then they're going to be calling him immediately and asking him all the questions that they can to try to get all the knowledge that he has. And I know I'm truly going to miss the knowledge and the support that I can lean on Mark for. So Mark, thank you once again for all your efforts and time and sweat and tears you put into the network and teaching actually he's taught half of our department as well. I didn't mention that, but he's really a pillar of our community and someone that I'm going to miss in the department. So thank you once again, Mark, for all your time and effort that you've given us. And now for my poem. No.
Good evening. My name's Tom Garrett, Director of Facilities here for the school system. And just so everybody knows, before I make my remarks here, our relationship, on the way up here, she said, "You better be good." So I'm not sure what that meant exactly, but, and I told her just a few minutes ago, if I had known I was going to make this is my first year in the district, if I had known I was going to get this opportunity, I would have used this as leverage for the past months against her, but I guess I didn't find out about it. I have the honor tonight of sharing a few words about Miss Mary Alice Johnson. I originally planned to make about a 15-minute speech because, as many as you know, I like to talk. But if you know Miss Johnson, you know that she can be very direct, so I will be brief as well. Miss Johnson has served in a variety of roles over the years for the school system. She worked for Dr. Barr, that's Mr. Mike Barr's father, for about 3 years in the 1980s. Then she took a short hiatus, which included working for Stanley Tools for about 23 years, among other things. 10 years ago, Ms. Johnson came back to the school system, working at both Fairview Elementary and Fickle Elementary before coming to the service center, where she's been for the past 4 years. Her last day of work will be May 26th, and she's here tonight with her husband of 41 years, Tony, in the back. And they were married September 11th. He had some jokes about that, but I'm not going to make them here tonight. Our department's unique within the school system. We get calls like, "There's a bad smell in the trash can." "I'm too hot." "I'm too cold." "There's a bad smell in the bathroom." "There's a fox in the woods." And other things that I, again, can't share with you tonight. Ms. Johnson's title is System Secretary for the Facilities Maintenance Department, which means she fields most of these calls, and I've never seen her lose her patience, which is quite a feat. But in reality, she does a lot more than that. She's the phone answerer, she's the maintenance work order creator, the purchase order creator and monitor, the invoice checker, and the invoice processor, which is very important. She's the T-crosser and the I-dotter. She's the person who figures out what's actually meant when a school sends an email for a work order. She's an organizer, she's a doer, she's a keeper in liner, which she was doing on the way up here tonight to me. She's the finisher, and I don't want to get in trouble here, but she's the teacher, principal, school secretary, and head custodian calmer downer sometimes. Ms. Johnson's punctual, she's detailed and dedicated. She's dedicated to doing what's best for the people of Newton County, but most importantly, the children of Newton County. Her work in the Newton County Facilities Maintenance Department has not been exemplary, it's been superb. We will miss her, but we know she lives very near the office, and we have her phone number. So she can come by the office if we have any questions. We can go by her house, have lunch if we need to. Or in the summer, we can go by and catch her at her pool and maybe take a swim. I asked Ms. Johnson if there's anything she wanted me to say tonight. She said, yes, tell them I'm ready and that I can have the next 2 weeks off with pay. So I asked her that today, and that's when I scrambled around. I was on the phone with all the board members, Ms. Fury, Mr. Barr, and I'm proud to say tonight, Ms. Johnson, you can have the next 2 weeks off with pay. Just kidding. See you in the morning.
Tonight, I am honored to recognize three great people who have worked in our transportation department. I'll start with Mr. Roscoe DeBose, who has 10 years of service. Mr. DeBose has transported students with special needs for the last several years and has done a great job with that. He volunteers regularly in the community and is part of civic organizations, and I'm sure he will continue that work after he retires. He's a top-notch individual, and I have been lucky to be able to work for him for the last 10 years. Thank you for your service, Mr. DeBose. Next up, Marie Bruce. Marie, you will be happy to know that many of the things I thought about saying, I am not going to say. This Miss Bruce is when I talk and everybody else is quiet. Ms. Bruce has transported she's been here 24 years, and she's transported students with special needs for about 16 of the last 16 years or so. She is the person in the room most likely to start singing and dancing without anybody asking her to do so. Her energy and enthusiasm will be missed. Thank you for Marie for all you have done. Finally, I want to recognize Ms. Sandra Hilly. Sandra didn't like this job too much, and she was only able to stay with it 32 years. And so she worked here actually 32 years, at the same time worked at Kmart for 25 years. So that's quite an accomplishment. She is an incredible person, and we've been very fortunate to have her in the transportation department, and she will certainly be missed. And so thank you, Sandra, for all the work that you have done, and thank you to everyone up here. These are really great people, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with them. Thank you.
And now, I would like to speak to all of our retirees. Soon, most of you will leave your respective schools or offices for the last time. Some of you have already begun your retirement. With you will go the accumulated memories of many years of service to the Newton County school system, times filled with work and laughter, memories of friendship, hardship, and comfort, and hopefully memories filled with pleasure and pride. Though memories are inevitable and important to you, but what is important to us, your coworkers and friends, is that we have had the privilege of knowing and working with you. Having earned your retirement, we are delighted that you will finally be getting time for yourselves. At the same time, we realize and definitely recognize when you leave, there will occur a very real and significant loss to our school system. You have been a part of what has made our school system the very solid educational institution that it is. We will miss you, and we thank you and are grateful for our time to work together. May God be with you, and may you enjoy many happy and healthy years of retirement. Thank you so much for your service.